Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of Rooted Podcast. This week, we're going to be doing a turkey season update. It has been quite a while since it's just been Ben and I on this show. So we have had a action-packed turkey season, and we can't wait to just let it all out here and tell you all the stories and everything. Everything from taking out youth to people getting their first birds to Ben and I tag teaming again and getting on a turkey together, as always exciting. It's going to be probably a two-parter. I'm not going to lie to you. We got a lot of stories to get through. And if you know anything about Ben and I, we like to jibber-jabber about some story time. So just bear with us here. I hope y'all enjoy these stories. But as always, Ben's going to start us off right.
All right, guys. Today we are in Philippians 4:6-7. Don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Tell God what you need and thank Him for all He has done. Then you will experience God's peace, which exceeds anything we can understand. His peace will guard your heart. Let me just tell you something right here, right now. That is fact. 100% facts. You know, we spend so much time worrying about tomorrow, and the Bible says it many times. Don't worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow is going to hold its own troubles. That's a verse. I don't remember which one it is right off the top of my head, but it is one. It's paraphrased, of course. But, you know, man, the thing of it is that if we just took the time that we worry and converted that time into prayer, oh, man, it would be unbelievable what we could get accomplished instead of just stressing about everything that's going on in our lives. Because, listen, at the end of the day, you know, do you think Jesus wanted to go to the cross? No, he didn't. Do you think Daniel wanted to go into the lion's den? Absolutely not. But no matter what we go through, whether it's a lion's den, I mean, obviously, none of us are going to go to the cross because we're not worthy, but you get my point. Like, whenever you're going through something, instead of worrying about it, even if it's something good, don't worry about it. Just pray about it. And God's plan is always perfect, and it never fails. We're the ones that fail, not God's plan.
Yeah, see, the issue is God has a plan, and then we just get in the way. Yeah, because, you know, we just think that, you know, for example, whenever you're turkey hunting, you just think that you got to make a move, or you just think that you need to call one more time, or you just think, well, every time I think, most of the time, I usually get in trouble if I start thinking too much. Instead of just being like, you know what? Hey, man, you got it, and I'm just going to be here.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we're going to do.
Yep. You know, life's going to throw you good curveballs. It's going to throw you bad curveballs. And, you know, walking through those times when you have Jesus is so much easier than walking through them in a worldly perspective. And, man, I'm just here to tell you, I wouldn't have made it this far if it wasn't for Jesus. There ain't no way. I would have never made it as far as I have today if it wasn't for Jesus.
I hear you. And, you know, I think another thing of that is being Christians, to me anyway, how I look at it, part of it is giving back.
Yeah.
You know, and I think one of the ways that I love to give back is through the outdoors, because for me, through the outdoors is how I feel closest with God personally.
Yeah.
And I like to share that with others, especially any new turkey hunters, whether that's youth or, you know, my wife's Uncle Jeff or my buddy Dawson. I mean, buddy, we had some incredible hunts. I know that you took a youth out to get that young man's first bird.
Oh, yeah.
And I just love sharing the outdoors. And, you know, I would love to hear that hunt, that story of that hunt. I would love to hear the story and how that all kind of unfolded at Tennessee's youth weekend.
Oh, dude. So it started out, you know, it was just a weird day, man. We had a bunch of storms the night before, and I thought, boys, turkeys ain't going to do worth a crap. They're going to be quiet with all this tornadic events coming through here.
Yeah.
And this just ain't going to be good. I was like, I just pray that these birds do something so this young man can kill his first turkey. And lo and behold, that's what happened, but it didn't happen right off. So we get up super early, get to the Field of Dreams. You know, that's my favorite spot on the whole farm. That's my little hole there. I love the Field of Dreams, man. But we get there, get set up, and I let out a hoot about 5:55, something like that. And oh my goodness, there was a bird roosted right behind us. I mean, that dude just right there. I was like, oh my goodness, there he is.
Gotta love it.
And man, I had to do it again just because I'm one of those guys that loves the experience. And when I take somebody turkey hunting, I want them to experience it in the max capacity because that's what I enjoy. And, I really think that helps. Obviously it's nice to kill one right off the limb, but it's also cool to get the experience of one gobbling right behind you that close that you just snuck up on. And they don't even know you're there and you're already set up. So we get set up, he gobbles, and man, I had to do the hoot owl again. I had to. I waited about 15 minutes and just did the oh, 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 and he just right back again. I was like, oh man, this bird's hot. And unfortunately, though, for us,
what was the kid's reaction whenever that happened?
His eyes were like $50. Just a grin from looking ear to ear. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
He was jacked.
I could see him just.
Dude. Oh man, he was, dude. And the thing about it is that bird unfortunately pitched down behind us on the ridge. And I said, look, we got to make a move on this dude right now, or he's going to walk up behind us and ain't nobody going to be able to turn and shoot him. So we did that. We got halfway up the hill and started calling, and he answered immediately, cut me off.
Nice. I love that.
I was like, okay, he's going to do the deal. Like, this is going to happen. When they start cutting you off like that, you already know that they are fired up and ready to rip. Yep. And dude, that bird was hot to trot. He was ready to go. So he's gobbling. I'm like, hey dude, get ready. Cause he's coming. Like I could feel him drumming in the ground. And I always have a rule when I can hear him and feel him drumming, they are killable. So, he was shooting my Weatherby Sorix with choke and all that stuff in there, ready to go with that Federal Premium heavyweight TSS, that I'd patterned the gun with. And he was actually, well, I'll save that for later. But, man, he was set up on this tree, and I see the turkey. I said, kill him. Kill him. He was like 20 yards. And he didn't feel like he had a good shot, and I get it. It happens, man. I mean, you see that bird, blue head just thumping through the woods and, it's just, man, it's just exhilarating. It just is. And I mean, dude, I've froze up more than once and, but I have to give the dude credit, if he felt like he didn't have a good shot, that's kudos to him for not taking it. Cause I'd have sent it. I'd have just let her rip, tater chip. So I figure one pellet at least will get in there, but
I hear you. But yeah, I mean, when in doubt, it's always good to be safe and just not shoot.
Yeah, it is always better to not shoot if you don't think you have the best perfect shot. That's the key. But nonetheless, he shifted a little bit. Bird saw him, putted, ran off, and we go back down, sit down. I was like, dang it, man. I thought, well, maybe another one will show up here in, a minute because I know how many birds are over in that area. So,
a lot.
Well, maybe if we call a little bit, they'll just magically appear like they do. And we tried, and then that old boy fired back up behind us. And so I was like, dang, dude, I don't know what to do. Well, second attempt to go and get him, did not work. Didn't work at all. No bueno. Well, we were slipping through the bottom in the thick stuff, so I was like, man, we need to stay in this thicker brush to at least conceal some of it. Well, he was standing right on the peak in the wide open, and he could see us every step of the way. And he didn't putt or nothing. He just eased off and quit gobbling. I was like, "Dadgummit, man."
He's like, "Oh, yep, I'm out.
Yeah, I'm gone. Smell you later." So
See you, boys.
I was like, "Man, I think we ought to just go walk around and see if we can't fire one up." Because I love to walk around and just try to strike one. Man, I am terrible at deer hunting turkeys. Terrible at it. I am the kind of guy that, I've got to be in their face all the time. I will move 30 times if that means that we get to kill the turkey. And sometimes that is to my disadvantage. But sometimes it pays off, and
It does.
Anyway, we ended up moving and we were walking back towards the lodge, and we were in the field that's just adjacent to the Field of Dreams on the lodge side.
Yeah.
Walking around the far side of the field, not up next to the mountain, but the other side.
Yeah.
And we get to the little entrance to that little tiny food plot. And I hit a yop, 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 and did some cuts. And oh man, I was like, "Oh, buddy, we got to get across this field right now." And so we jetted across the field, setting in the road because there were no trees to set up next to. No trees. I said, "Look, guys, we're going to have to just sit down right here." And I told the kid, I said, "Look, dude, just lean up on me like I'm a big old oak tree and get prepped and ready because I promise you I can handle it." And he got ready. Well, I start calling periodically. I'm now switched gears to, okay, this dude has hens with him, and I know that because I've seen them now. And I'm going to try to call the hens to me. Bring him with them. Well, it wasn't long after I did my first sequence, he hammered again. And then those hens started. And they started just cutting, and I cut them off. Cut them off with the same cuts. I matched them, close enough. I mean, it wasn't perfect, but, I just cut them off immediately. And that fired those hens up something crazy. Well, here they come. And they wrap around the edge of this little, the high rise in that field that you go up and come back down about a quarter of the way up when you get into it from the lodge side.
Right.
So they were on that side. They're on the lodge side in that little corner. We're behind that high ridge. And this hen is coming. I just shut up, dude. I just quit calling. And here they come. I mean, hens and all. And I look up and I see feathers, and I was like, "Oh." I was like, "Oh, crap. That's the hen." I was like, "Sweet. That's awesome. She's about to bust us, and it's over. Sad day for everybody." But she didn't. She walked around about 20 yards from us and was looking, and I was just whispering, "Do not move a muscle. Don't move. Don't even breathe if you can. Don't do nothing."
Yeah.
Well,
don't even think about it.
Yeah. So she ended up moving on around and going back around the way she came. And then I look over, and all I see is red, white, and blue and a tail fan. I was like, "Oh, there he is." I said, "Do you see him?" And he said, "No." I said, "What about now?" "No." I was like, "Oh my gosh, please,
Come on, kid.
please. And then he goes out of strut and walks to the left, and he's like, I got him. I said, "Kill him. Kill that turkey." And dude, he's just, "What's no?" Dude, that bird didn't even flop. He was just dead. He was just dead, didn't twitch, didn't do nothing. Boy, he didn't twitch. He didn't do nothing. He was just dead as a hammer. I mean, he got the old headshot, and it was perfect. Dude, he jumped up, was hooping and hollering, high-fiving, hugging everybody. And I was like, yes, this is what we're after. This right here is what's going to hook that young man on the outdoors and God's creation for the rest of his life. That experience right there.
There's nothing like it. That's the most American thing ever. A red, white, and blue head and turkey tail feathers. Let's go.
Oh, dude,
hey,
it was awesome.
I love it, man. And look, whenever you could just put them, ready? TD. In the dirt, baby. I freaking love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. buddy. Whenever you can do the OITD, it's awesome.
So after that, though, we decided to go back out again for the other young man. And we go back the same way we went that morning after a long walk back around across the road. We went across the road, that food plot, see if we can fire one up.
So this is the same day?
Yeah, same day, about noon. And we come back around and get to the creek crossing there, the dry creek. And me and one of the young men came up on the bank or on the road, and I saw red little heads bobbing through the field. I said, get down right now. And the other two guys were behind us laying down on the road. Once again, we're in the middle of the road, John. Middle of the road. And I had the hen decoy already in my hand. I don't know why, but I did. It was already on the stake. I was like, oh, that's convenient. So I just stabbed it in the rocks right there. And, dude, I let out a sequence of yelps, and all 7 of those birds hammered together. Nice. I was like, oh man, this is about to happen.
Here we go, boys.
For real, this is going down like 4 flats. Well, buddy, they came so close. If they would have took one more step, I'd have grabbed their legs.
Oh, wow.
I mean, they were that close. And if you don't believe me, y'all, I've got a video. I can prove it. I mean, I almost could have reached out and touched them, and unfortunately, all 7 of them were jakes. All 7 of them were jakes. But, dude, they got so stinking close to us. Oh, my goodness. It was, super cool to get them that close and then get them to gobble. And at the end of it, man, I was getting tired of fooling with them, so I was like, man, I'm about to just stand up. So I squatted and bowed out like I was a strutting turkey, and I started doing the fighting purr with my mouth call. And they just all looked and went, Phew. I was like, oh my gosh. And so then I just stood up and was like, hey guys, how you doing? And they just leisurely walked away. I was like, wow, okay.
Y'all need to wait till next year.
Y'all need to stay that way next year and be dumb like that. That's what y'all need to do next year.
Wow, that's hilarious.
So tell me about, I know that you took, Jeffico out. I need you to tell everybody about that story, because if I'm not mistaken, that was his very first turkey.
It was. So,
yeah, and he had some mishaps last year. Well, he tried last year.
Oh, yeah, buddy. So, really quick, I guess the other boy didn't get a bird, just to wrap that up.
No, he did not get a bird. No.
But hey, that's an incredible experience. You get 7 turkeys gobbling in front of your face like that.
Yeah, it was pretty
And then see some big old, hairy redneck out there acting the fool.
Yeah, that's right.
This was the Redemption Tour by Jeffrey. I won't say his last name. By Jeffrey.
Yeah.
And, buddy, last year, I'll give him credit. He went and went and went. And here it came. Hens came into the field. Big old gobbler. Squeeze of the trigger. No flopping turkey. We've all been there. That's tough.
Oh, we have.
But to his credit, all year long, from last turkey season to this one, he said, I'm going and I'm killing one. Okay. He got a new shotgun. He finally patterned his shotgun. He got all the great shells. He did all the things. And he was ready. So I was actually on a new piece of land, the first time we've ever turkey hunted it. And I had been scouting, and I knew there was birds there. And, I had them wise eyes running, and they were telling me when these birds were in there. And I felt very confident. Matter of fact, I felt so confident on Friday before the season opened. I told my boss, who was a big outdoorsman, I said, I'm going to send you a picture before 9 o'clock. I said, probably before 8, but I'll just say 9 just to give me some buffer room. So here we go. What everybody waits for. It was finally opening day of turkey season. The alarm goes off. You've already got all your stuff ready. You got it set out. It's like Christmas morning. You can't wait to get out there and see what's going to unfold in front of you. So me and Jeffrey meet up at the house here real nice and early. as I told us to do. We need to get in there early. I said, that bird roosts real close. So he's all jazzed up, man. We get on in there, and like I said, it's real early. I mean, it's still black. And 20, 30 minutes later, here comes some light, and just on their own. I wasn't going to do anything because I knew the birds were coming in there. I wasn't going to call or do anything unless I had to.
Mm-hmm.
And buddy, we just sat there and just on their own. He went pow. I was like, oh, here we go. And I could see him getting excited. He's kind of moving, setting up, because I'm telling him, like, hey, dude, you need to get ready. Just freaking be ready.
Yeah.
And where I knew these birds were coming, they usually, if you're sitting in the blind, they usually come from your either right in front of you or from your far left out in this little corner. And this bird did it just a little different, of course, but it all worked out. So this turkey's hammering. And I know what I just told you. I wasn't going to call unless I had to, but buddy, when a turkey gobbled at me, I couldn't help myself. I had to call. And I said, yep. I did some real light yelps, and then kind of toned it up because it was still early. They were still in the tree, and he just hammered and hammered. And then hens started. I mean, he was just hammering. And I was like, oh my gosh, here we go. Mm-hmm. And dude, we can hear turkeys flying down. Like, can't see them, but they're flying down behind us. Mm-hmm. Because behind the blind, it drops off in this ridge, and then it goes into a bowl and whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, them turkeys are right there. And I don't know, 20 minutes goes by, and I call again, and he hammers, and he's right behind us. I'm like, gosh dang. And then I hear the beautiful sound of spitting and drumming. I can't see him, but I know he's there. Mm-hmm. And I told Jeffrey, I said, just get your gun propped up and get ready to rip. Mm-hmm. And buddy, this bird was literally strutting right behind the blind. I could hear the wings scraping the ground.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, dang. Jeffrey, as soon as this bird pops out, because a hen came out in front of us, and I'm like, okay, there's hens here. He's just strutting for these hens. Mm-hmm. He will come out. And eventually he popped out to our left at like 30 yards, just strutting. And then he went behind a tree, and he's just turning and going and going. And I said, Jeffrey, just nice and easy. There's no rush. Just as soon as we get on there, he's going to be in here for a while. We don't have to worry about it. Mm-hmm. And he just eased up. And I said, okay, as soon as he comes out of strut and puts his head back up, kill him. And he was in full strut, and then he went to about half strut. And I said, you on? He said, yeah. I said, kill that turkey. Boom! And that turkey went to flopping. And boy, Jeffrey was so darn excited. He was like, yeah, man, yeah. And we was hugging and high-fiving. He finally got his redemption on the turkey. It was glorious. And by the way, we were done at 6:40.
Hey, yes.
It happened fast. And
dude, that's awesome.
Then right after that, the best part, it was the fog. It was kind of foggy. The fog was coming. The sun was rising, and we got some phenomenal pictures of him and his first bird because Mother Nature just did it right and gave us the opportunity to get some good photos. So, man, he was super stoked. And then we took it right to Wilson's Wildlife, and he's getting that puppy mounted. Of course, we still got the meat off of it. And he is super, super excited. He was jazzed, man. He talked about it. He still talks about it. He loves it.
That's awesome. It just doesn't get any better than that, especially the redemption story that he had. It's like we had 2 back-to-back redemption stories there. And, man, that's what it's all about is just you have to stay persistent. You have to stay in the woods because, it doesn't always work out the way you think it should or the way it's going to. No. And then sometimes it does. Sometimes you can't do anything wrong, and it still works out perfect. I mean, there was a time back in deer season. I'll save that for another day. Anyway, It shouldn't have happened the way it happened, but by golly, it did. And it was pretty great. And, man, I'm telling you, though, redemption's great.
It's funny you say that. So the next story, I will go back to my brother and I, because we ended up getting birds on opening day as well, just a few hours later. But it's funny you bring up stuff that you shouldn't have killed that turkey, right? But you did anyway. So I took my buddy Dawson out. I went to high school with him, buddy I work with now.
Yeah.
And this was just a couple weeks ago. And so it's, probably fourth week of the season or so. And at the time. And he's been talking about, he's been going turkey hunting, heard some gobbles, wasn't able to close the deal kind of thing. And so one of the weekends I said, all right, if you don't get one this weekend, I'll take you next weekend. So sure enough, he didn't get one. I said, all right, dude, I'll take you Saturday morning. So we go to the same exact spot where Jeffrey got his bird. And I said, okay, we're going to just go in here and see. Buddy, we heard one gobble in the morning way far away. And I was like, well, crap. Yeah. We sat there. I called. I tried everything. Nothing.
Yeah.
Well, then some hens came in. I was like, okay, cool. We had two hens walk like 5 yards in front of us. That was super awesome, as he had never seen that before. And it's really, really cool when you can just watch turkeys and how they move and interact with each other and see how they live their life, especially when they have no idea that you're even there. That's really, really cool to see. And, dude, we had hens in front of us, and eventually the hens just left. And I thought, well, okay. So, dude, we're literally just sitting there talking about the NFL draft is what we were talking about. And all of a sudden I look up, and running down this little trail is a longbeard. I mean, just I was like, oh gosh, beard, Dawson, longbeard.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, let's get ready. So he's got his gun, some semi-automatic, and raises it up. I'm like, okay, hold on, let him get behind this tree, whatever. And he did. It's great. Dawson goes to pull the trigger, and the action moved because it wasn't all the way in. And all you heard was like, ka-chink. And I was like,
oh, no.
Oh, my God, dude. So thankfully, I brought my gun. Yeah. I don't even know why I brought my gun. I had zero intention on shooting a turkey, but I was like, I'll just bring it anyway.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, Dawson, here. And before I gave it to him, I said, well, let's just make sure there's one in the chamber.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said, let's make sure there's one in the chamber. I knew there was.
Yeah.
Well, we pull it back, look, okay, cool, there's one in there, put it back, brings the gun up, same thing happens because the action didn't go all the way back. I'm like, dude, you've got to be freaking kidding me. This turkey's like 35 yards away. I mean, right there. So I said, okay, try your gun again. I'll get my gun working. I know what happened. Because at this point, I'm like, this turkey ain't moving. If he walks away from me chambering this gun, then so be it. We don't deserve to kill this thing anyway. So I hand him his gun back. I rechamber mine. He tries to shoot his gun again. I still, to this day, don't even know if his gun's working right now. But it did not go off for some reason. So that's the third attempt he tried to shoot at this turkey. And then I said, okay, I know my gun's working now. Here. I said, it's already off safety. Just point and pull the trigger. And he finally got it up there and boom, and folded that turkey. It took 4 daggum tries, but by golly, Dawson got his first bird. He was so pumped up, man. It's so exciting. And I don't care how old you are. So Jeffrey, for example, he's in his 50s. Dawson's in his early 20s. And it just doesn't matter what age, or, you take someone who's under 16 like you did there for the youth season.
Yeah.
Anytime you can gift somebody the wild turkey and that experience of being in God's creation, and seeing them get excited, dude, I get more out of that than anything else, man. Because he just kept saying thank you, thank you, thank you, and I'm like, buddy, no, thank you, because
Yeah.
you let me give you this gift, because yeah, it's I just love it, dude. I absolutely love sharing my favorite passion, which is turkey hunting. And man, it was just so awesome. It's something that I'll never forget. And you know, we should not have killed that bird, but that just goes to show you Dawson was meant to get his first turkey, because
Yeah.
we were going to get it one way or another. And yeah, man, it was super cool. And then it was, I got to teach him how to breast it out, and take out the spurs and the beard and the tail fan, and showed him how to preserve it, and then make him out. He's got a thing he's going to do, and I even doing that was just kind of cherry on top, because he wanted to learn how to do it. And man, it was super awesome. And that just goes to show you that sometimes whenever you call, just sitting there, because that bird I feel was coming to my call, because why else would he be running?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he was running in there, and
Mm-hmm.
like looking around, and he just didn't gobble.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but
Oh,
it
lockjaw.
happens. It happens. But by golly, he's DRT. He's dead right there. You know what I'm saying?
Well, buddy, speaking of turkeys we shouldn't have, my first one this season should not have died.
Uh-oh.
So I had watched this bird for like 3 days, 4 days. I was waiting on you to get there, and I was like, man, dude, this thing's just really irking on my nerves a little bit. He's strutting around this field all day long, and I got to go kill him. Like, I
Yeah.
have got to kill this turkey. And, the reason I was so hard up on killing this turkey is, dude, this has been the worst turkey season I have ever had, as far as like gobbling birds and just everything piled into one. It's been awful. And so, man, I was sitting there, I was watching him and watching him. Well, Thursday rolls around, and you were coming the next day. I was like, I can't wait anymore. So I'm going to go kill him. Sorry, John, but I'm going to kill him. And I slipped out there before daylight, and because I wasn't real sure where he was roosted. I knew he was roosted on one side of the field, and I mean, this is like right at the lodge. I mean, right behind it at Sinking Creek Ranch. And so I went down and hit the ditch or the creek and followed that all the way around to that cut, the dry cut that goes through to the Field of Dreams.
Mm-hmm.
So I followed that all the way around, not quite to that cut, but back about, I don't know, 80, 100 yards, and then crawled up the ditch bank and got set up. No decoys, no nothing. Just me and a camera and my shotgun in the woods. And I'd actually set like 2 rows of trees back, which played into the mishap that came later.
Mm.
So I watched this bird fly down. I'm sitting there. He's strutting, doing his thing, dude. As soon as he gets off the limb, he is on a hen, breeding her for a solid 2.5 minutes. I have never seen that in my entire life. And I've never watched a wild turkey breed in the first place. And then you see these 2 jakes behind him, like making fun of him, like they were doing it too, like, oh, look at this guy. Oh, look at that guy.
Wow.
Anyway, so he breeds that hen, breeds 2 more. Finally, an hour and a half later, he comes, makes his way around the field exactly like I knew he was going to do. I knew that's where he was going because he took the same route every day. And if I was smart, I'd have just sat at the barn and killed him right there at 7:30. But I didn't. I waited and, went on around because I have to do that for my own mind. I just got to overthink. And oh man, here he is. I'm watching him through the thick brush, thinking, "Oh man, this is like for real. We about to kill."
You getting ready?
And hen comes about 15 yards in front of me. I was like, "Oh yeah, she's leading him to the slaughter. Here we go." Well, buddy, being a self filmer is not easy on a turkey. It's not easy, period. I don't care what anybody says. There ain't nothing easy about self-filming a hunt. It is
No.
difficult. So I get it on him. Change, and at this point now I've got to change all the settings on the camera so it looks right. And I hit record, get it on him, and I didn't even have a mouth call in. Like I was just hoping he would just stop in front of me, I guess, like a real doofus. So I just used my mouth and did a makeshift hen call, and he stuck that old head up. And dude, I wasn't even paying attention to the bush that was in front of me, and you can see it in the video move. But I shoot, boom, and he just like looks and then takes off, and I follow it up with another one, boom, and then here big boy goes around the camera. It was more like a snail, like slow and steady. But there I go, buddy. That second shot, I think I got a couple pellets in there somewhere because it slowed him down just enough. And John, if you know me, you know that I don't miss very often. It is very few and far between that I miss, and that's not a brag, that's not a boast, but buddy, it happens to everybody. Everybody's gonna miss. So, dude, I just mowed down that bush in front of me. I mean, mowed it smooth down. It ain't nothing left of it. And in the video, you can see my wad go far off to the left. It like threw the whole wad and everything. And anyway, I get to that bird, and there he goes again. I was like, gosh dang. Boom! $30 worth of ammo downrange. That's my last shot. I ain't got nothing else. And dude's still alive, John. Still alive. I was like, you have got to be kidding me. I was so mad.
Did you hit him at least decent on that third one?
Yes. I hit him really good on that third one. And dude, I was just like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, this is ridiculous. I know that bird should not be alive right now. Like, I hit him very well, and he's still alive. I was like, gosh dang, man. So I did the old foot on the head method, and that did the deal for me. But dude, he spurred me when I did that right on the shin. I mean, right on the shin through those thin little pants. And I was like, oh, yo, that ain't no joke, man.
They'll get you.
Dude, they will. He paid me back for the pain and suffering there. He gave me a old swift kick to the shin with that spur.
He'll get you.
Dude, it hurt, but that is a bird that I should not have had. And I guess it was just God's will for it to happen that way. And, man, it troubles me deeply to wound an animal. I mean, dude, I quit bow hunting for like 4 years because I wounded an animal. So I just quit. I didn't bow hunt for 4 years straight because I had wounded a doe, and boy, it hurt my feelings something serious. Because I'm all about, making the best shot you can and being ethical. And, this one hurt my feelings too, man. I mean, it hurt my feelings real bad. So I was like, man, I don't know. I may hold off for a few days. And then you showed up, and I got excited all over again.
Yep.
And
that may be a story for a different deal
I think it is. I think we're going to save the next string of stories for the another episode there. But man, that just goes to show you that even if you practice, your gun's on, the pattern's right, sometimes you're still going to miss.
Well, sometimes you don't pay attention to the bush.
Well, that's it. You just don't pay attention to the bush right in front of your eyes. And buddy, I didn't.
Now, a couple things before we wrap up. One, I'm going to tell the story of Jimmy and I's birds because it's the same day as Jeffrey's.
Please.
But before we get there, Ben is missing a very important, cool part of that turkey hunt. Whenever he walks up to the bird and, you examine the bird, it's cool, great, tail fan. Well, it's very rare in a turkey hunter's life that you're going to grab a beard, look at it, and go, holy crap, there's another one. And then it's going to be even more rare in a turkey hunter's life that the turkey hunter's going to grab the second beard and go, no freaking way. There's another beard behind that one. Ben done shot him a triple bearded long beard.
Yep.
with that bird.
triple bearded turkey. Never done it. In fact, on the video, John, I had said, man, we got us a double beard this morning. I didn't even notice the third beard. Didn't even notice it right off the rip. And I set it on the trailer to go get my knife and all that stuff, my cooler there, so I could get my pocket knife and my skinning knife and all that. And I come back and it was on a white cooler. And I was like, wait a second. I was like, there's a third beard there. I was like, no way. That's the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, man. Triple bearded turkey. And in total, he had 16 inches of beard.
That's incredible.
Now, that's all three of them combined now. So y'all don't think I'm trying to stretch the measuring tape by any means. That's all three of them combined. So,
yeah, but that's so cool, man. Seeing I mean, I've seen people shoot doubles, I've seen, kind of like at the weigh-in station kind of deal, or pictures, but never have. I don't know if I know anybody that I really know that have shot. I've seen them online and stuff. Someone I know shoot one. No, that's crazy,
dude. So, I'm telling you, man, this farm has got the genetic for multiple beards. That is the fourth, more than one bearded turkey that came off this farm.
Wow.
Yeah, there's been 4 double beards. No, 4 double beards. No, this is the 5th one. Four double beards, and then the triple beard that I killed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, some places are just meant for it. I mean, I got a buddy who it's just, I don't even know how this turkey had these genes, but had double beard and they were both 12 inches.
That's crazy, dude.
And it's like, what the heck, man? I mean, just some weird, whatever. It's just how it grew. And it just life, I guess, science, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it's crazy. So anyway, I felt like that's a, important part of that story there.
Yeah, no, that's a very important part of that story, and I'm glad you mentioned it. So why don't you tell us about your and Jimmy's hunt? Because, dude, I was in the dumps that day. Like, gosh, dang it, man!
Yeah,
I've already walked 16 miles, and dadgummit, I can't get a turkey to cooperate for nothing. I don't know what in the heck's going on. I said, John, I may need you to guide me. I don't know what's happening.
Well, usually what happens on opening day is Ben sending me pictures of him and his clients 3 or 4 turkeys deep, and I'm like, I can't even get one to gobble right now, bro. This is awful.
Yeah.
Where this year I was fortunate enough, I sent him a picture before 7 o'clock, and then I was able to send him another one around 12:20 or so. So what had happened is my dad and brother had hunted this other farm in the morning while me and Jeffrey were over there slaying this turkey down. And they had heard a gobble way far off or two and called a little and nothing happened and whatever. So they moseyed on out of there. And I said, well, Jimmy, I still got a tag and you still got tags.
Mm-hmm.
I said, let's just go back out to this other farm and, see if we can't get one because I know they're in there. I mean, I've been killing turkeys there forever. I said, let's just see if we can't get a midday gobbler to pop off.
Yeah.
Well, excuse me. Well, we went on out there and we just mosey on down, hop in the blind. I said, well, I'll just call and see if one pops off. And if not, we're just going to sit here and call every so often and we'll sit as long as you can take it kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, we get in there at 12 o'clock. We sit down. I call turkey hammers. And I'm like, okay, awesome. That's cool.
Yeah.
Side note here, my brother, he has killed turkeys before. He has never, all of his turkeys he has killed have been silent. He's never really had them work like that. So this was super awesome for him. So I called, they gobbled, and I was like, okay, cool. Called again, nothing really. And I was like, I'll just wait. I waited like 10, 15 minutes. Called again. Boy, they gobbled and they were close.
Mm.
And I was like, oh, buddy. The first time they gobbled, they were probably like 400 yards away in this other field that kind of connects to ours. And then them birds, I know they were in that field, came down a ridge, up another ridge and into our field.
Mm.
And I called and they camera and I said, "Oh crap, Jimmy, he's right there." I said, I can't see him yet, but and then eventually I saw the red head beep, boop, 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 boop. And I thought, yeah, here we go. And Jimmy goes, "I see a turkey." And I get to looking to try to find it. Well, by golly, I said, "Jimmy, I see 2 turkeys."
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "What do you mean?" I said, "I just see 2 heads. Hold on." And he goes, "Are they longbeards?" I said, "Both of them are." Heck yeah. I just see that beard flopping off of him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, "Oh, buddy." So, dude, Jimmy's ready to rip. I just thought it was 1 turkey. Dude,
Yeah.
I'm not ready at all. My gun's propped up against the blind. I got binos out. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
crap. I'm like, hold on a second, Jimmy. And I just ease that gun down and bring it up, And I'm like, I forget what he said. We went on 3 or whatever. And, 1, 2, 3, bang. And, dude, we freaking doubled right there. It was awesome. And we were in and out of there in 20 minutes, man. Freaking just we literally walked right in, called these birds over. They hammered, they came in, they strutted. 3, 2, 1, pow. It was freaking great.
That's awesome.
And, dude, it was really crazy because they were like twin turkeys, literally.
Really?
And wow. This was really, so literally same beard length, same spur length. But for whatever reason, my bird was like, and we actually weighed them. I want to say Jimmy's was like 18 and mine was like 23 or something, or 22.
Dang.
And I don't even, I'm like, they're literally the same turkey. I guess this one was just beating up the other one so he could eat more.
Yeah.
But it was kind of cool. It was like the brothers killed the brother turkeys. It was super awesome.
That's awesome.
So
that is awesome.
That was Jimmy's first turkey hunt that the birds gobbled and worked. So that was super cool. And man, it's just, whenever you can share the woods with your family, especially your brother, and you could double. I've only doubled once in my life. That was with you in Texas. So yeah. I know how special that is to be able to, and man, it was just so awesome. I wouldn't change that stuff for the world.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, it was just incredible. So that was just another moment that I'll never forget. And so my opening day was very special. By 12:20, 12:30, I had seen 3 turkeys die already.
That was just the exact flip flop from me last year.
Yeah, exactly. So, man, it was super cool, super awesome. Very, very thankful and humbled that I get to do that. And, again, it's something that we should never take for granted. I can tell you that.
Yeah, no, man, absolutely. And, I'm just glad that y'all have had some really good success this year. We ended up having some better success later on in the season. And, we'll save those stories for another day, but.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man, we very thankful we've had a good turkey season.
Yep.
It started out kind of rough over there at the Sinking Creek, and it's, but hey, we're still going. We're still getting birds on the ground there. We're putting them in the dirt, baby. That's what we're exactly
we are.
What we're doing.
We are. I'll just say this, John, for our next episode, BC is tagged out. I'll just say that.
Exactly.
We'll leave it at that. We'll leave it there. And John still has a tag because that's a story all in itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
What a story. Yeah.
But hey, man, it's just the way it goes sometimes. So,
yeah, sure is.
But hey, you guys, we will talk about that next week. And, that is a part 1 of the turkey season update here for the Rooted crew.
Absolutely, guys. Well, hey, thank you all so much for listening. And John, if you don't have anything else.
Well, that's it. Happy hunting, guys. We'll see y'all later.
Rednecks out.
See y'all.